So guys, picking the right wood with little reference of how hard it is to actually carve can really make or break a new carver's experience when they first get into carving. Now there's plenty of reasons why some of these woods will be harder than others, but the two main ones that I usually run across that you will have some control over is the wood moisture and actually the different species itself. So let's jump right into it here. Alright, so wood moisture. It's just as it sounds. The moisture content of wood itself will determine how easy it is to carve. You'll usually find two versions of wood available, one being the dried wood and another one being green wood, which I don't usually use on this channel here. But green wood is basically wood that's freshly cut from the tree and has the natural moisture still in it. This is typically easier to carve, but you might run across issues with it cracking. I got an example. Come here. Alright, so this is an overly exaggerated example, but I was hoping to turn this into like a gigantic bird bath. I was letting it dry in my garage, hence the cat hair everywhere, but it decided to split, which I was worried that it might do. I'm just happy I didn't do the carving before I actually started carving into it, because then I would have been a bit sad to have all my hard work fall apart like that. So that piece of hickory wood, I'm going to probably turn into something else. Now, dried wood is typically what you're going to see available for carving. The moisture isn't completely removed, but they have either been sitting for a year, called like seasoning the wood, or they put it in a kiln to speed up the process. Personally, I like the air-dried basswood, which is usually what I use for my tutorials. I just feel like it carves a little bit better. But sometimes kiln-dried wood, they dry it off too much and it gets harder. Some places do a good job, like Basswood and, not Basswood, like Beavercraft and Can USA's Basswood. They seem to do a good job. But usually you want the wood moisture level to be around 8%. This is a fancy little wood moisture thing. This has been sitting in my garage. Let's see if I can get it to actually work. So this one is reading at about 3 or 4%, which is some cheap wood that I got off of like one of those China places. And this one is the air-dried basswood, which is about 8%. So this wood's going to be much harder to carve than the air-dried stuff I usually get that I use for my tutorial stuff. So you can see there is a difference that maybe I can get 4%. Yeah, just barely 4%. That's with me pushing in on there. But the stuff that I use for my tutorials, it's nice and soft. It's holding at about 8%, so it's not overly dried. And mind you, both of these have been sitting in my garage for like about a year, so they're in the same exact conditions. Now, I also made a video on this too, but you can also go and like spray water onto some woods, or I've seen people say they boil their wood. This right here is a mixture of 50-50 rubbing alcohol and water. I do a 50-50 split because the water is what's actually hydrating the wood, and the rubbing alcohol breaks the surface tension and allows it to absorb into the wood faster. Let's run a little quick experiment. I haven't done this yet. I'm very curious to see if this will work. So take this in, let it sit for a little bit. The rubbing alcohol will evaporate and then leaving the water. I'm actually really curious to see what happens if I go deeper. So that now it's saying it's 15%. So it's saying, oh, there's too much in there. So yeah, there's a good amount on that side. And then now on the back side over here, you're seeing about 6% moisture content when I was saying it was about 4% earlier. So if your wood is really hard, some rubbing alcohol mixed with water will actually make the whole thing a bit easier to work with. It's a nice temporary solution, and it's a spot treatment, so you don't have to sit there like and do any crazy stuff. Just literally spray it on and you're good. All right. Wood hardness itself. The part that gets most people is the wood hardness between each species. Like each of these right here are different wood species. They're all going to be different hardnesses. These are like from a spoon kit from Beavercraft. I just grabbed it out of curiosity. I haven't played around with it yet. But maple, elm, adler, and apricot. I 100% got it for the apricot just because I like the color. I really want to play with that. But different wood species will make or break some of your experiences if you don't know what you're doing, because not all wood is the same hardness. One of the measurements that I like to go by for determining how hard the wood is what's called the Janka hardness scale. It's just a general purpose measurement of like how hard a piece of wood is. Basically what all they're doing is they're taking the small steel ball with a calibrated force and pushing it into the wood and seeing how much force is required to push the steel ball into the wood halfway or something like that. Just basically a repeatable process. This allows you to determine which species of wood might be within the realm of you being able to carve. Personally, I like to use wood between 300 foot-pounds of force, or which is like 1.3 kN, and 1,000 foot-pounds or 4.5 kN. I like my wood between that range because if it's any softer than that, it just doesn't hold the details. Like balsa wood, for example. Really nice soft wood. I can't remember how low it is off the top of my head, but it is way low. I can't put any detail in it and it won't hold. It's like a firm sponge, essentially. But when you start going above that, for example, when I did my mushroom project, I was using some hardwoods like cherries and even purple heart. And when you get above that, my preferred range, it starts to like wear out your hands and you have to sharpen your tools more. So it's not really worth it. This is primarily why I like to use basswood. It's a nice softer wood at the beginning of that scale. It's easy to work with. I just end up having good results with it. Now, of course, how do you figure out how hard these woods are? It's not very easy to find it sometimes, but I made a whole scale for you on my website where I have some of the common woods you're going to usually see, as well as like a whole list of the several hundred other species of wood across the world. So it's all in alphabetical order. You can just go and look at that. It's pretty extensive. I spent a lot of time trying to figure that out and make it easier for you guys to look through. All right, so where do I buy my wood? The wood I use in my tutorials is actually from a guy on eBay here in the States. Choicecraft wood. I think they're mainly meant for pin turning, but they're nice and soft. They're air-dried basswood. Oh, they cut like butter. I love them. Probably some of the best basswood I've ever had. They look fuzzy, but once you slice into it, it's really nice. They're just basically like roughly sawed on the outside. Really good stuff to work with. My backup basswood is usually Beavercraft. Their basswood is really nice. They sell it all over the world, and at least in my experiences, it's been consistent and consistently good. I made a whole video comparing this to a whole bunch of other basswood, which also has these other guys in here as well. So if you see Beavercraft, get it. They have lots of different sizes. Same with Can USA. I'm not sure if they sell it all over the world, but I know they sell it here in the States. Great stuff. I really like it. It's a little bit harder than Beavercraft in my experiences, but still really good. Now, if you guys want the good stuff, here in the States again, Heineke, this is like premium basswood. You're gonna have a hard time finding better basswood than this. It's smooth, it's creamy colored, it cuts wonderful. And they also have a whole bunch of different sizes. Like this one is a big old honker that I plan on doing some stuff with. It's good stuff. I really like it. Only downside with them though is they're kind of old school. So you have to send them an email or call them and then they'll ship you the order with an invoice. You have to pay that order by mail or whatever other way. There's no way to buy it online. Sometimes other people buy it from them and then they'll resell it, but that's a whole other thing. If you're like me and you're lucky enough to have some woodworking supply shops nearby you, you can just stop by there and take a look. I personally have Rockler and Woodcraft within driving distance of my house, and I sometimes on my lunch break I go and just putz around in there and see what they have. If you have those, go for it. Otherwise, you can go to your local hardware store, which is what I sometimes do as well, and just go down their premium wood aisle and see what they have available. Try and find one that's not too terribly warped, and just find a species that you feel like you can carve. I usually end up with poplar, good solid wood to carve with. Of course, I'm going to have all this information in the pinned comment down below for you. That way you can find it, you can reference it, and you can check it out at any time. And as always, thanks for watching. Hope you have yourself a good day.